Hello everyone, I'm Jenny Floriday. Welcome to SMACNA, Greater Chicago Lunch and Learn. Today's topic is what is OneNote? You can see on the left half of my screen, you have a notebook. I bet that's what everybody's used to using. It has a lot of scribbles and arrows and pencil marks and scratch outs. On the right hand side, you see one of the many pages that represent OneNote. So my goal in the next hour is just that everybody understands what the product can do. You see on this screen, besides my picture, you see that you can contact me at gfloriday@comcast.net. It looks like my phone number's truncated a bit. It's 630-728-8277. You can also contact me at any time through Lori over at SMACNA. This is our third Lunch and Learn class. We have one more to go, June 19th, and that's Intro to Bluebeam. I suggest that if you have not signed up and you're interested, please call Lori after the class to sign up for that. It's all based on the number of attendees, first come, first serve. But I'd like to tell you what Bluebeam is. It's a wonderful software program that takes Adobe Acrobat and lets you do an awful lot of marking up on it. So if you work in the world of blueprints, CAD drawings, and you're in construction, you need to often communicate with the other people on the project by enhancing what's on your PDF. This will let you do it. And it's just an overview of what Bluebeam can do. So let's go into OneNote. I'm inside of OneNote right now, but I want to start out the class with OneNote is a digital notebook. It does not automatically download with your Microsoft Office program, but it is free if you purchase Microsoft Office 2010 or later. So all you have to do is click on your Windows icon, go into your software, find Microsoft. There is my Microsoft Office 2013. And there's all the programs. So you would just click on OneNote 2013 and it would download for you. So it is included, and as long as you have 2010 or more recent. The first part of this class is going to be how do you create a notebook? And I'm just going to follow along. We're inside of OneNote. On the right hand side are all the different pages that are going to remind me what to teach today. And the way that it works out is this. On the left-hand side are all of my various notebooks. If I want to create a new notebook, I click on Add Notebook, and it takes me into the new notebook screen. And I can either store it on OneDrive. That's out in the cloud. That's where you're going to store your notebooks that you want to share with other people. And OneNote works on tablets and on iPhones. So, and I understand it might even work on Android devices now. You can actually put something out in the cloud, like if you have workers out on site and you want everybody to be able to share notes with each other, they would have an automatically updated note put in there. It's not as powerful working on those tablets, on the iPads, but it will allow you to read notes instantaneously. I'm going to be storing this on the computer. I'm going to just call it test for today, and I'm going to create the notebook. If you store it out on your network drive, then everybody will still have the opportunity. This is what a new notebook looks like. So you'll see the name on the left-hand side, and it starts out with the Section tab. So I'm going to switch out of here and go back into my SMACNA Class Master so that I can show you better examples. So first, let's talk about the hierarchy. Everybody can have an unlimited number of notebooks. As you can see, I have notebooks for individual clients. I have notebooks that are shared. This is a notebook when it's in bold that I work with the MCA, as many of you people know, and I probably have one down here for Lori too, for SMACNA, but that has been stored in the cloud. And anytime I go to a meeting at MCA, before I get there, I have an agenda that everyone gets a chance to fill in so that it makes the meeting a little more on target. You can have as many notebooks as you want. We're going to be working in this one today. After you create a notebook, you saw that it said Section 1. I renamed that to OneNote Outline. So these are different sections. I have one for a template, I have one for the agenda, and each section can have pages. So here's all of my pages. If I want to add a page, if I click up here, it adds it at the end of the section. So if I click on this, I just put in an untitled page. Anything that you write on a sheet of paper can be put in here, and you'll see some advantages hopefully by the end of the class. So that's how I add a page. If I put a title in up here, let's suggest that this is going to be meeting notes. By the way, it doesn't do spell check. I keep wanting it to. Anytime you add a new page in, it adds the date, but you can change that date. So if I wanted to, I can pop up a calendar and change it to last week. And of course, the same thing is with the clock. I can change the time. And then all you do is start filling in your notes. We'll come back to this in a little bit. That's how you add a page at the end of the section. If you wanted to add a page in between two other pages, you can just, I'll scroll up to the top. The little plus sign lets you add a page at any specific point. I can also move pages around. I can also move them to other notebooks. So that's what the move and copy does. It allows you, if you click on that, to say, where do you want to put it? Here's all my notebooks. Every time I click on a plus sign, I can see all the subsections that are in there. I want to delete this. I right click and I use the delete. Adding pages is important, but the way you add them is also important. Do you notice that I have it looks kind of like an outline here, doesn't it? I'm going to talk to you about searching, creating notebooks, layout tips. Under layout tips, I have two, looks like subsections. Those are just pages. When I put in a page, I can click on it and pull it out or in. There's 3 levels so that I can have level 1, level 2, level 3. It's all just a visual so that I feel like things are organized better. That's one of the layout tricks that you'll need to know about. And if I create this notebook, I can, as you know, create it out on the web, the cloud. I can actually go in later on and move a notebook. So you can start something out on your desktop or on your network, and then you can go to the File menu, and you can go into the notebook information screen. And in there, you see this? You can go in and you can view the notebook. You can change the location of the notebook. If I have something that has been changed by people, I can click on View Sync Status. Oftentimes, you will have access to a notebook when you're on your network. Then you take your laptop home and you don't have access to it, but you want to add notes. You can work offline. And then as soon as you get back into the environment, say you're connected by Wi-Fi, it will automatically sync for you. But you can come into this screen and click on View Sync Status, and then I can go and sync all of the notebooks that need to be synced. The other options that we have here are opening another new one, opening an existing one. You can print. You can share a notebook. So if I have a notebook that hasn't been set to be shared, I can go in and share it. And so we have lots of flexibility as far as setting up our notebooks and then changing our mind and moving things around. One of the things that I like the most about a notebook that in OneNote that you don't get with the paper is the search feature. So if I go in and I have all of these notebooks stored out on my computer, I can search through any of those notebooks that are in the notebook lineup that I showed you earlier. I could go in and I can type in class, and look what it did. First of all, it groups it by recent picks. These are the things where I have used the word class. Then it looks at things that are in the title, the word class. So it organizes itself and it does a really fast search. I will even be able to look at things that were in the recycling bin. So if I click on any of these, it takes me to that page, but it doesn't actually move me there. It's just showing me a preview of that page so that I can see if that's the page that I want. Okay? If I click on this X, it takes me back to where I was. The other thing about searching is as soon as you click on this little search box, it shows you all the recent things that you've looked at, which Think about it. You're going to keep going in and out of your notebooks repeatedly. So really, to get back into one that you previously used, this is a way to do it. So these are the individual sections in notebooks that I've opened recently. I can even go in with find on a page, and I can type something that I only want it to find on the current page, and by typing it in. So right now my current page, you'll look over there, has the word computer. If I type correctly, I'll be able to find it, and I'll do find on page. And there it is, it found it. So if it found multiple matches, I'd be able to click on these arrows and move through. So reason number one to use OneNote is you can search through anything that you have recorded. The rest of the class is going to be showing you what you can record. Okay? All right, next thing we're going to talk about are layout tips. How do I type stuff in here? How do I organize it? So you get one section when you start. I bet you could all figure out that you can add another section by clicking on this plus sign. So if I wanted to, I could add a section that is just going to be keeping track of all of my meetings. That creates a section. That section can have its own pages, and the pages can be indented. Besides a section, I can create by pointing to any of these tabs what is called a section group. A section group is a more powerful section. It is a group of sections. So in here, I'm going to just call this members. So now if I double click on members, now I can go in and I can type in all of the SMACNA members, the ABC company, the How Creative DEF company, and so on. And then each one of these companies, if I start working with them, I can put notes in about them. See this little backwards arrow? It takes me up one level because I'm in a section group, so called members. So if I go up a level, I see all the other tabs. So section groups, let me give you an example. One of my clients has a section group called projects. And within each of the projects, they have each one of the clients that they are working with. And then on that client page, on that client section, they will go in and fill in multiple pages, perhaps each time they talk with them or whatever. So that's what a section group is. It's very easy to do. Once again, you point to it, hit your right mouse, and put in new section group. Good? That's the first thing. Second thing is, when you're in a meeting, you can't take notes in Word. Why? Because Word is horizontally or line oriented. This isn't. I can come in here and I can type any. See, this is a little box that I'm typing in. It's called a text box. And then they start talking about something else over here. I can type all my notes that have no relationship to each other. I can go in and merge them with each other or rearrange them later so they're sitting next to each other. So the first thing that I like about it is I can just go in and do a very fast note tip that I need to record about that meeting, and then I can clean it up later. The second thing is I've already told you about multiple notebooks. I've told you about the section tabs and pages, but I can actually open up. I'm not going to do the opening right now because I don't want to eat up all my memory on my machine, but I can come down to the taskbar, hit the right mouse, and I could actually open up another session of OneNote. So I can have multiple sessions going at the same time. And the value of that is maybe you're working on two different notebooks and you don't want to switch back and forth between the notebooks. You do have the ability when you move between pages. So right now I'm on multiple notebooks. If I go down here to a template sample and I want to go back to multiple notebooks, you see on the top of the screen, I hit the back button, it takes me to the previous page, and it will continue to take me to previous pages that I have been on during the session. So multiple notebooks are a good way of trying to work on more than one item at once. Next, let's talk a little bit about formatting. So I told you about Freeform, where you can just type in individual things. We can also go in and I can do the regular Word type of typing. You see up here on my toolbar, I can come in and say I want to put a bulleted list, and I can say item 1, item 2, item 3. I can go in and I can set numbered lists. And if I hit the tab key, I can do an indent. If I hit the shift tab, I go back to point number 3. Just as I can over in Word and in Outlook, I can move my levels around. So the features that you have over in Word, they're a bit minimized, but they work quite well here. Many of you may not use this feature, but we have this thing called style sheets. I'll show you a sample. They're prefab formattings that you may want to use when you're typing. So if I go in and I say that I'm going to type something in heading 1, I had this highlighted so it came up as heading 1. Let's go and highlight this, and we're going to make that heading 2. So it automatically changes your format. We also have an undo feature if we wanted to bring that again. So typing is a breeze. It's the same as it is over in your other programs. I can go in and create a template. These are really nice. So you have some prefab templates. Let me just show you a sample. Okay. Every time I conduct a meeting with a client, I take random notes in the meeting if it's a remote meeting, and then afterwards I come in and I fill in this template sample. And then with the email page option, I send them an email so they can see what we've all committed to. So this is the prefab template that you get, but let me show you how many other ones you've got. So I'm going to insert a page, and I'm going to put it right underneath template sample. Notice it keeps the indent. And if I go to the insert menu, I've got something called page templates. So we've got all sorts of different options here. I can go into, I'm going to take you into the page templates option. So if we go into the business category, these are many of them that we've got. I'm going to go in and say informal meeting notes, and that's what I get. We also have calendars that we can insert. We can go in and we can modify any page that we've got. I'm going to close this down for a second. I'm going to insert another page at the bottom, and I'm going to say that this is the project notes. And then down here, I'm going to set up a heading that says description of the project. And then I'm going to go down to another section, and I'm going to do another heading 1, and I'm going to say team members. I could change the background color of this. I can do an awful lot. But then I can go into insert, go back to my page templates, go into page templates over here and say save current page as a template. So now I've got a template called project notes. And you can even set that as the default template anytime you open up a new section. So I will do a save, and so it comes up with a section called My Templates, so I could go and pull that template in at any point in time. So templates, what do they do for you? They allow your group of employees to work as a team and have the same format when they are sharing notes with each other or with outside people of your company. So you could insert perhaps the logo of your company, but templates save people a lot of time, and they handhold the people who aren't used to taking organized notes. So that is template. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is my bad scribble. I just used my mouse and went into the draw mode and picked one of these pens and then wrote project. Right now I'll write hello. It's not really meant to be used with the mouse, but I want to show you something here. I'm going to hit the escape key so that it cancels and I'm going to go back into typing. But remember I told you that you can use an iPad, and on your iPads, of course, you could use a stylus for writing. So if you wanted to take notes out in the field and then convert them to text. Many of them, depends on how bad your handwriting is, can be converted. Let me just show you this. If I click on the lasso selector, I can then, I'll go down here and do it around project. And now it selects that as a block. And on the right-hand side, I can do an ink to text. And there I have the word project. I'm going to live dangerously and see if hello will also come out. Not bad. So I'm going to then go back and change into a typing mode. So you can actually use a stylus. You can draw, if you set it to draw with touch. I don't have a touch screen on this system, but you could actually just be writing with your finger. Very good if you're working out in the field. Now, if you're in the field, you can draw with your finger and draw with touch, but you won't be able to do this ink to text. Ink to math changes it to numbers so that it'll do mathematical equations for you. Just note that some of the features I'm showing you on this desktop version do not work when you're out in the field, but then you just pull that OneNote item opened on your desktop version and you can complete the process doing your inking when you get back to the office. So that's converting your writing. The next is we're going to talk about tags. These are also great. So as you know, I do training. And sometimes when I'm creating a new class, in fact, always when I'm creating a new class, I will go out and just capture screens on the internet, which I will show you how to do in a little bit. But I will then listen to videos, and I just keep notes on what I want to put into the class, what I think is good and what I want to move forward with. And what I do with those notes, as you can see over here, is I've inserted a 1 next to layout tips and formatting tools, and a 3. So if I was doing an advanced, a level 3 class, I would think that this would be something for level 3. This is a level 1. I've added a check mark here of something I want to do. So I want to show you how you can go in and set up tags of your own. Tags and what they can do for you. They come on the Home tab. And this is the tags box. You can create your own tags. You can use their to-do tag. And I'm going to just show you a little bit of each. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say that this is an important point and I want to do something with that. So if I just click on the to-do tag, it gives me a checkbox. If I click on this one and I click again, it gives me a checkbox. So those are just simple checkboxes, which when I'm done working on that item, I would just go in or just click on it and check. So there's the check, there's the uncheck. It's noted that it's a to-do tag. But I can also come in and I can add tags of my own. So I'm going to click on this More option. And I have gone in and created many of these on my own. If I come down here, you can see all of them that I've put in. I can come in here and I can pick one of them. So I'm going to say that I'll make this a project A. So that has both a check mark and a project A. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say this one is critical. So I'm adding these tags. How do I create one of my own? I know you're all dying to know. I go down here to customize tags and I put in a new tag. This tag is going to be, we're going to say next week. And I can come over here and I can pick out any kind of symbol that I want. So I'm going to say we're going to use the number 1 symbol, and then I can pick the font color. I'll say that that can be blue, and I could pick out a highlight color if I would like. So I'm going to say OK to that. I've just created a new tag. I click OK, and let's see, where is that? There's my next week tag right at the top. So I will come over here and I will do a next week tag. Okay. All right. So we put the tags in, but you're saying, can you do a search by tag? I love that question. That's what I'm doing next. Can you do a search by tag to locate something? Yes. So that's where I was going with this. You see this option, Katie, find tags? If I click on that, it pops up a new navigation screen. And I can go in and I can say, show me anything in this section, group tags by this section. And I can come down here and say, just show me tags in this page group, in this section. The section group, remember that's members is a section group. This notebook, all notebooks. So this is where it gets really powerful because you can tag your to-do items and then it will automatically find them for you. And then look at this. This is a hyperlink. So this takes me back to anything that was tagged, right? And I can go in and from this, notice it says show only unchecked items. So if I check this, you see how this create table by inserting tabs. If I check this, it removes that and it's only showing the items that were unchecked. But this is one of my favorite things. I can create a summary page out of those tags. Now it's just added a new page on the bottom of my screen so that this can become a working feature. So I can come in here now. These are all of my items that have been tagged and they all have hyperlinks, you guys. They will take me back if I click on this to wherever that tag was. So that's tags. I use them all the time. I have to tell you honestly, this OneNote application has changed my life, has made it so much easier to become and stay organized. I am not an organized person by nature, so this has really made a big difference in making life easier for me. I hope it does for you too. Tags. There's more that you can do with, we're in the formatting your text and writing. I had showed you how to set up outlines earlier, but this is something else that's kind of neat. If I set up an outline, I already showed you I can flip things around, but this is kind of nice. I can go to the left edge of that outline, and if I double click, it hides the details of that number, and then it shows it. So if you needed to do a printout where you just wanted the major items shown and not the detail, you could just go in here, go to your file print. It would only print whatever you see on the screen. So that's kind of handy. I'm going to go into tables now. We can insert tables, and I'm going to show you a sample table. So here is a table. I'm going to insert a blank page, and now I'm going to show you with the insert menu that we can put in tables with lots of columns and rows, and we can just start typing. Tables are much easier when I teach my Word class. I tell people, look, this is what you can do in a table that you can't do with tabs. You can have multiple line items inside of one cell, and then when you hit the tab key, you'll move to the next cell. So this is what tables do. You can go in and adjust the width of the columns. I will tell you on the front end, they are not as powerful as the tables over in Word, but they're still pretty doggone good. When you get into the table itself, you get a new menu item called Table Tools and Layout. And with that, you can go in and, insert rows. So you've got lots of table options afterwards. So that's how you can create your own table. You can also do shading. If this were a title line, I could come up here and I can say make that shaded. So you can do some things, nothing as fancy as Word, but pretty good stuff for inside of tables. I could go in and sort by any column. I kind of have, let's see, I have a sample table here. If I come over here under layout, but I'm going to sort by that column, and it did. All right, so M comes before S, so it did a sort on that. I'm going to do an undo and take that back again. So that's one thing that's kind of cool, but this is even better. Sometimes you will take text and import it, copy it and paste it, but it doesn't come in very clear. So I can go in here, I can click anywhere in this sentence, I can hit the tab key, and look what it did. It adjusted to the width of the cells above, and it makes them one nice looking table. Now this one's a little bit wider, so it kind of stuck all of that in there. So I'm just hitting the tab key, and I'm creating a table out of existing text. Under the insert table, I can actually insert a new Excel spreadsheet. If you're going to be doing a lot of math, this is a great way to do it. And this is a spreadsheet now. And I can edit this by double clicking on it. Let's hope it works. There's my spreadsheet, so I can go in and there you have your spreadsheet. Dock to desktop. This is very helpful because sometimes you want to look at two documents at the same time. Here's just an example. I can go into this feature. Let's click on it, normal view. This is dock to desktop, and it just allows you to pick, this is the last screen that I was in, and it allows me to then go in and I could type notes here. I could take this text, highlight it, come over here, paste it. So that's dock to desktop. So you can see two screens at the same time. I'm going to take it back to normal view, and that's your dock to desktop. The next one is called screen clips. Love this. I can go out to any screen. So I could be in Word or Excel or Outlook. I'm going to open up my internet. I can go to, let's go to SmackNaw. Here we are. Let's open it up. What a nice website. So I can come over here and I can insert screen clips. Let's see, there we go, screen clipping. It remembers the last place I was, and it allows me to go in and pull any part of a screen. Boom, it just copied it in here. Something else you can do inside of OneNote is when you bring a graphic in, even if it has text, of course it comes in as a graphic. And this isn't a perfect one to do, but I clicked in it. You see that little dotted line? If I hit my right mouse, it says copy text from picture. I can come down here. Now it's not going to be pretty, but there we go. It gave me the text that was in there. And I actually use this when I'm working on a new class because I take all of the text when I'm reading things and I bring it all in and then I format it and turn it into a working agenda for my class. So you can insert screen printout. So I can go into the insert menu. We've done insert table. I can do a file printout. So if I have a document on my computer and I want to pull that document in so I can make comments about it, that's what file printout does. File attachment is the same thing as what you do inside of Outlook. You can insert the paperclip and then it gives you a link to that particular item. We also have another feature. You see on the bottom of my screen, I use this all the time. It's the abbreviated version snippet, I think they call it, of OneNote, and it should automatically load. And if it doesn't, go into your options screen to make sure this loads, because people will ask me questions, how do you do this? Well, I don't necessarily use the insert screen clippings. I just turn this on. I say this is the screen clipping I want, and then I can go and I capture menus all the time because I'll tell people this is the menu you want to go to. And then with this, you can just copy it to the clipboard and you can put it anywhere you want. So I'll click it right here. I'll do a paste. And you don't have to paste it inside of OneNote. You can paste it inside of Outlook. You can paste it inside of Word. You're just copying it and then pasting it wherever you go. That's kind of a nice feature. And I think I have a sample file. Yes, so this is something that I did pull in. This is a layout of what I do in my Excel Level 3 class, and it was a Word document. And I just went out to File Printout and pulled it in. You can also scan documents. So what happens when you are in OneNote, it knows what printer you have if you're set up with the printer, and you can go into the scanned image and it will go and find anything that's on your printer if you have a scanning printer, and you can do it directly in here instead of scanning it and then bringing it in. That's the scanning feature. If I have one page that I want to share with someone, remember earlier I was telling you that I take the notes that I type in here and then I email them. What I do with just one page is on the home screen, I go in and I say email the page. And so I'll just show you if I do this, it's going to open up Outlook and it takes that page and inserts it into the body of the text. Then all I have to do is type the person's email in. Sometimes you want to take multiple pages. So like if I went in and said that I would like to take all of these pages, I clicked on the first one, I'm shift clicking on the bottom one. Then I can go to File and Send. And in here, I can send that as an attachment, turn it into a PDF, email the page, so I have better choices. If you want to do more than one page, that's something that you should kind of pay attention to. This is how I can pull in pictures that I have stored on my computer. Quick side notes is the next thing I want to. So when you are in a meeting, if you don't have OneNote opened, this will be opened, and you can always open up the quick note, and you just can type in there at the end of the meeting. That comes up as an unfiled note, and then you can move it wherever you want. That's what quick side notes are. By the way, when you close down OneNote, when you reopen it, it takes you to the last page that you were in. I've talked about the calculating ability. You just hit equal and enter after you type in your formula. You can password protect sections. So I could come up here and then I could put a password protection on that section. You cannot password protect just a page, but I've known people to go in and make a section just one page so that the whole thing is set up for them. I want to talk, you can put it on your tray icon. All I'm telling you is my OneNote is always appearing down below so that I can get to it quickly. And audio recordings, you guys, these are pretty cool. What you can do with audio recordings is this. You can take notes while you are recording. Next, I want to talk about the history of managing documents. And that takes me over here to the history. And this is good stuff, because I can go in, let me find a page that I know I made changes to, link to Word, I know I made changes in here. So I can come in here and I can say, show me the edits I made. It shows me, it remembers all of the edits that were done. You can go backwards with that. You can go in and find by author. I'm the only author in here, but if you're sharing these notebooks, you can find who did what. I can also get versions. So if I look at my page versions, it will show me that I had multiple page versions in this particular page. So history lets you go backwards. It's remembering everything that you put in, even if you deleted and made changes. So let's go down here, sharing and collaborations. We can go in, and if you use SharePoint, which is a software program that manages documents, you can save a document out to your SharePoint drive if you needed to. One more feature that I can show you now I'm going to show you the way I use it. I'm going to take you in, you're going to look at my work notebook, and if I go to the top, I keep track of, if I'm research, this is your generic notebook that you get when you open things up. They'll give you a research tab, a meeting notes tab, a miscellaneous tab. So these are the tabs that you get. I went in and created a section group so that each one of my clients has their own page. So that's one of my sections that I created. I also, this is one that I use all the time, created a section group for each one of the classes that I teach. And then I can go in and, take notes on what I want to teach in that particular subject. Also, if I learn something, office tips, if I learn something new, I can go in and keep track of it here. Then I can go find it very easily. I do my timesheets in here. I keep track of all of the timesheets for every year that I've been working. And so every time that I come in and I do, this is a very old one, that I keep notes on everything that I've done as far as my timesheets. That's kind of different ways that you can go in and use the product. That kind of brings us to the end. Thanks, everybody. Hey, thank you so much. Please join us for Bluebeam. Even if you aren't using it now, you get to see what a really cool product. So that's it for now. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of the week. Bye now.